Hey guys, welcome to this, our last demo. It's going to be focused on web design. Initially, we were going to use Wix.com to create this website, but due to data privacy laws, that's not going to actually work for us. So the workaround is to use Adobe Express on the Creative Cloud to create a website. The end result, what I want you to do is just take screen captures of all the pages that you make, and then you could submit those, probably be about 4 separate screen captures to the Google assignment. So let's go ahead and get this going. So if you go down to your Creative Cloud doc, at the top, if you select all your apps and then type up in the top bar there to search, even if you don't type in, perhaps Adobe Express is going to show up. You could also just go Adobe Express, and then you're going to see it'll actually pop up. So I'm going to hit Adobe Express Web and click on that. This will launch again within your web browser, and you're going to see this kind of work. Adobe Express is a kind of like, jack of all trades application. It's all the basic things made simple and accessible online. So if you want to crop a photo, if you want to remove the background, if you want to use generative fill, if you want to create a poster, a flyer, if you want to create a presentation, if you want to create GIFs, all of that you can kind of do. And Adobe's main goal is to make it simple and accessible for those basic functions. For our purposes, though, we're going to click on this one here that says build a web page. But before we do that, I want you guys to see, like, in your stuff is kind of like the folder that you create. And I've already created one here to kind of flesh out the idea. And I want to show it to you guys so you have the idea of like what the target actually looks like. So there's going to be kind of like 4 major parts. So there's a title with your landing page, so some kind of background image with a title and your name. I want a little about section where you can actually write about what the viewer is going to see on this web page. Then I want anywhere between like 10 to 15 works of art. So in this case, I've got, I don't know, close to 12. Here's the AI generative fill portrait that I created of myself. We ended up not running it this year. Instead, I did SpongeBob because I thought that would be a little bit easier. But I used the generative fill to create my face plus the liquify tool. Anyways, you can see all of the different projects that we had over this past year. And then the last section will be a little bio. So I've got bio, Mr. Falk, and then I've got a little paragraph kind of describing my experiences as well as like what I did here this year, accompanied by a photo. So let's go ahead and go into the actual creation of this. So I'm going to go back to Adobe Express, and I'm going to click on build a web page. It's pretty simple. It's very basic. So it's going to prompt you through pretty much everything. And then where you see these little plus signs at the bottom, that's where you can add more content. So I'm going to click here to add a title, SBHS, digital art. Let's make sure we get our spellings right. Digital arts. All right. For subtitle, that's where you're going to put your name. So Mr. Falk. I can do 2023 to 24. Just going to separate those. So now I've got like a basic title applied here. Now with anything, if you select your type, it should give you some some modifications that you can apply. Let's see if we get some for our next area. So I'm going to hit a plus sign here. Let's go ahead and get a photo, and I'm going to upload from my device. And currently I have these all saved within the photos folder on my computer. So when you start this process, make sure that you can consolidate at least 10 photos, 10 examples of your work into your photo folder, and then you can upload. I used the screen capture function to actually submit all my work. Just make sure it's the Shift Window S screen capture as opposed to Window Print Screen. Shift Window S allows you to actually crop your screen so you just get the artwork. And so we don't want to see the actual desktop. Let's just see your artwork. So I'm going to set this as my background image, ISO City Master. I'll hit open. Because it's a web-based application, it's actually uploading these documents to Adobe Express, and then you could actually post it to the internet and share that link with somebody so they can see it online. But again, because we are a high school, we're not really given much web privileges to post our own stuff. So there we go. Got my background image, and I've got a title. So looking good. So far, so good. All right, so now I'm going to move on to the next area, and you can see there's this little plus icon, and it gives me some options. So we're going to go into the About section, so I'm going to hit Text, and I've already got my text written out here, so I'm just going to come into a Google Doc, Control C, go back to here, and I'm just going to paste it right in. I ended up using Wix when I was writing this, and so they had some text generative capabilities there. So I wrote in some stuff, it generated this paragraph, and then I kind of modified it for my purposes. So that looks good. Again, somewhere between 4 to 5 sentences that describe the body of work that we're about to see. I'll then move along. I'm going to hit the plus sign. There's this photo grid option, so I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to upload again from my device. And this is where having your 10 images set is going to be super helpful. So I'm going to click here, hold shift, and click all the way through this last image of the frogs who wish for a king. And then I'll hit open. Then you're going to notice that it's going to create its own kind of interesting grid. It's going to throw all these images together. And I don't know, it looks pretty well. It's almost like a collage of photos on the wall. So I've got 13 images here. Again, my minimum requirement is 10, so 10 to 15 images. The typical portfolio has anywhere from 12 to 20. If you're applying to grad school, it's typically about 20 pieces. If it's undergrad and it's a competitive program, it'll probably be somewhere in that range as well, so 12 to 20. All right, so that looks good. I'll hit save. You'll notice these little kind of cogs pop up, so you can actually attach verbiage to each of these images if you want to describe it. And this allows people to actually find your images if they're searching for something like this. Okay, I'm not going to modify anything there. Last thing that we're going to incorporate is the bio. So I'm going to do a split layout right here. And this allows me to have an image on one side and text on the other. You can also flip-flop them. That's up to you. So I'm going to first add my image. I'm going to select this, the wanted poster that we created in Illustrator. And then on this side, I'm going to create 2 different text edits. So the first one will be a title. So bio, Mr. Falk. So you can write in your name for the bio. When you select your text, you'll notice that you can actually increase it to different point sizes that are kind of preset. So I like that. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to create another text field here, and I'll go get my copy. And paste it in. Bios typically will describe your experiences, your education, and then typically after a bio in an artist website, it'll have your show kind of documents, where are all the places that you've actually shown your work professionally or you've been represented by galleries. So here I basically go through my education, and then I talk about the first year here at Santa Paula High. Because we have difficulty posting our stuff online as students, the last thing that I want you guys to do is just take pictures of your work. So I can hit share, and that'll prompt it to create a link, but we're going to back out of that. I'm going to hit this little present, which helps me kind of like see a preview of the actual image. And then I'll just go through and take some screen captures. So Shift Window S allows me to click and drag to get my front page. I can go to the next one, Shift Window S, get that, next page, Shift Window S, and I would just go through all the pages that you have, take a picture of them, and then just post them to the Google Classroom. Next, lastly, bio, Shift Window S, and there we go. I'll get out of presentation mode. I can title this piece here, so Mr. Falk website. It's saving. And now if I go back to Adobe Express and click on your stuff, you're going to notice Mr. Falk website is now saved to my stuff. Lastly, when you're searching up your images, if you go to your files and then go to your pictures, when you use Shift Window S, it should save it to your screenshots. And so you can see here, like from this point all the way down, those are the images I took. I'll throw these away really quick, just so you can see them. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images. I would post all 5 of those images to the Google Classroom, and that way I can just look at screen captures of your work for the website. And that's it. Save and submit. You're good to go. All right. Take care.